Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know what it is. Your boy Professor Pip is back in his bitch on I Trade the Asian, trying to get active, trying to get live. Yes, yes. So with this video, definitely coming back with some back testing type action. This time, I would like to continue back testing on GU simply because that's where everything was broken down. But at the same time, I do notice and realize that GU does not move during the Asian session. So what I want to do is go to AU because I know AU moves in the Asian session. I know potentially I can catch a setup, catch some quick pips. Being a scalper, generally looking for anything 10 to 30 pips per night, and call it a day. I know that AU has the potential to give you that type setup, type entry on A's, and type let you get in and get out. So for the most part, we won't break everything down like we did on the last backtesting video with GU. If you were able to catch that video that we put out like a week or two ago, then you know everything that we about to put on the charts right here. Only thing we got to do at this point is hit that bar replay right up at the top. Kind of do our back and forth thing. We won't go way back here because remember last time we couldn't break down to the hourly, so we'll go back and forth with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hit that thing right there, and then that's what we're gonna start at. So looking at this, we're gonna I'll try to identify different things within this video. Like I said in the weekly outlook, weekly breakdown, weekly analysis. Um, I took notes on the video on myself that things that I potentially could have explained better. As far as calling zones the wrong thing, resistances, supports, and supports resistances. Right over here, we are not already pre-labeled because I want to go ahead and just kind of break down what we see, label as we go, and then potentially try to get active and catch a trade. But up until this point on the weekly, we are bearish trend, bearish structure. The only thing that gives me a little bubble right here, as we look at this, we say, okay, well, all bearish, lower lows and lower highs. We got to this point, lower high, lower low. We pulled back, and we have not broken. We pulled back, and we have not broken this low since. We're just pushing down. So immediately coming to the chart, if this is what price action currently was, seeing this, I'll be like, okay, well, there's a reason we didn't break this low after we have tried to push down for how many weeks is that? You got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 weeks. We've been pushing bears and still had not been able to break that low. So for whatever reason, whatever price action is doing to the left, whatever kind of zones are being created, price action touched into that zone, and then we failed to continue to go bear. So as we look at this price action right over here, based off the daily time frame, we would say the daily range is pushing bullish. As price action was bearish right over here, we were high, low, lower high. You could say lower low, lower high, lower low. Came and pushed above with this wick, closing above structure right over here. We did actually even came back down and broke structure. So potentially this would have had me a little screwed up within the market, potentially because after we broke above this high, I would have been potentially looking for buys as price action started to retrace. But the price action come back down again. So after we pushed above, I would have definitely had to wait to see price action close above here to say, okay, well, now we're potentially going back bullish on the daily. So pushed up, higher low. We did not break structure right over here. So still one push phase for me. So higher high. So now we're still closing above here. This is now the pullback with the structure break on the 4-hourly right up here. So now my daily range is from the high to the low. And then we push up again and give you a new higher high. So now the daily range is from this low to this high based off of the way I identify charts. Now, that might be a little bit confusing, but if you watched the last video, we kind of identified how we identify structure and the things that we look for to kind of show us where we identify those structures from. So my daily range is from here to here. Now, one of the things that I told myself that I needed to explain a little bit better as to why we identify these ranges is, okay, so if I'm on the daily time frame and I'm identifying price action as to be bullish, I'm looking for areas in the market that price action could potentially retrace to. And I don't know, looking at this, we kind of got this daily high identified a little prematurely because this is still pushing bullish. We have not broken structure on the 4-hour. So we technically should not have the daily high just yet. But looking at this, potentially we identify ranges simply because it kind of gives us an idea of what type of what direction we should be looking for a trade in. Because we are identifying that price action is pushing bullish right here, we're creating bullish structure, then we should be looking for buys. So as price action continues to pull back bearishly, we're looking for areas in the market where price action can potentially turn around and resume back bullish. So based off of this daily time frame, um, what I'm seeing here is this 4-hour range starting to create right up in here. So we got a little 4-hour support right up in there. And once price action closed below, then potentially what I would say is we were pushing bullish. We came back, created a support, and we pushed big bullish away from that zone. So if price action found a way to close below the zone, then potentially it's probably going to continue to go back bearish back into the support area that was created right over here. But you got the same type of concept. Price action was bullish, pulled back, came back into that area, then resumed back big bullish away from the zone. Y'all have to excuse me, the times of the year with the pollen and the everything going on outside. My allergies are doing something real funky. So yeah, but let me see what else we got. All right. So with this, we got the 4-hour supply identified right over there, 4-hour support right here. And then because we have not broken structure on the hourly, we do not have that 4-hour range completed just yet. So we got the support on the daily, support on the 4H, and based off hourly time frame here. This low, did we break 268? This low is 270. So technically, we did create a little supportive area right here on the hourly. And then, so what this identifies here, the reason we identify this low, because if we break through this 1-hour support here, we're most definitely coming back to retest something down here looking left. There's a supportive area here. And then 4-hour support is sitting right here. So I identify this 1-hour support to let me know that once price action closes below this area, wicks don't really count. Wicks could definitely identify liquidity grabs or, price action just coming back to retest a certain area within the market. But we want to see price action close below this area we have identified as 1-hour support to let us know that potentially we shouldn't be looking for those buys just yet. Price action still wants to continue potentially go bearish until we come down into a level right down in here to where we can potentially take the market and let's see it roll over and then go bullish. So we identify here support. All right. And then because I do think we have a break of structure on the 15-minute time frame right here, we can identify that 1 hour resistance. And the only thing that let us know is once we get above there, we can potentially take breakout trades to the top side. You create your own ratio as to where you want to collect that. 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, 1 to 1s. It's up to you. But what that lets me know is I can take a breakout short from below here, or below here, or I can take a breakout buy above there to see price action continue to go bullish. The only other thing I'll need to identify is go down to the hourly. Look at that a little bit better. We'll identify that weekly open right up in here. And then I also always like to identify the previous weeks so I can look at the swing levels from the weekly high to the weekly low. That also helps me identify the trend and make sure I'm going in the direction, the correct direction as far as which way I should be looking for trades. I'll show you that here shortly. Weekly open. So what I was saying is why I like to identify so many why is it so big. We got Sunday. There's another weekly open here. So no, it should be way back there. It should be back here. And then lagging. All right, cool. So basically what I look at with this is to help me know that I'm going in the correct direction. From the previous weekly swing levels, from the previous high and swing lows, I want to see higher highs and higher lows being created within the market. And from this week, from weekly open to this weekly open, we have a low in the market. And then the following week, we create a high in the market. This week right here, we created this weekly's low into this weekly's high. Now going into the week starting today, going all the way to next Friday, Friday is about to come up. I want to see a price action that creates a new weekly low that does not break structure to help me say that price action continue or potentially is going to continue to go bullish. So potentially somewhere above this low, and then, continue to go higher to potentially be looking for next week's weekly high, which could produce this week, and then, the following week, so on and so forth. So as you can see, we are creating higher highs and higher lows on a higher time frame scale, but also, be able to identify that from a lower time frame scale as well. If that is confusing, definitely hit them comments and definitely can break it down more. But as for right now, we just try to get this back testing video in. Um, yeah, so we can potentially see how, based off of my setup and strategy, we could have got active within the market. So we want to identify that London, which is the last thing that we generally throw on the chart. Like I said, I hopped over to AU because I do know AU does get active in the Asian session. Doing back testing based off of Asian session ideas and strategies. I wanted to pick a pair that I know for a fact that's going to show why I trade the Asian and why I think trading the Asian will be beneficial. Now, that doesn't go to say that other sessions don't get active or show you where the market is going to go. But just based off of my psychology, I feel like the Asian definitely shows you areas within the market where you potentially catch the beginning of the moves versus jumping into London, where you have the momentum and the volume kicking in. Those could potentially be the middle of the moves / continuations of the move. I feel like the Asian generally is the beginning or the ending of a move. So looking at this based off of the hourly, I see price action pushing bullish on the daily, pushing bullish on the 4 hour, and then we're somewhat retracing correctively on the hourly. So basically, I don't really want to do too much of anything right now. If I want to get my mind frame right and start saying, okay, well, I'm looking for buys, then I'm looking for price action to close above this area right here to potentially start setting up buys to take it back into this 1 hour resistance right here. So if once we hit that play button, if we see price action close above this 15-minute resistance right here, then potentially we're going to set up a buy type entry to go back into this 1 hour resistance and then continue to see where it goes from there. But yeah, so this is pretty much how I would start the week off. If you watch the weekend analysis, you'll pretty much see that type of thing. If we close below here, then it'd be risky business because everything else is pointing bullish, but you could take a short back into this 4 hour support that has not been retested just yet. So we're gonna see how that plays out, and then we're gonna go from there. I just feel bidding. All right. So coming into the weekly open, we'll go ahead and hit that play button. We got everything identified as far as what we want to see, levels that we want to pay attention to, and then now we're just looking to see now we're just looking to see where we potentially could get active within the market from. One more thing, looking at this high, low, high, high. This is the area that was most recently broken. So price action could stand on business right here and immediately turn back bullish simply because this was the area we broke above right over here as far as bullish continuation. And now we're pushing back into that area. Most recently broken. So this could be a level like an SR flip. Support and turn to resistance. So we could see price action stand up right here and then go back bullish. We're going to look at it from the hourly. I mean, even without identifying that level, we can see price action was bearish. We pushed up into that level. Move this out the way so you can see it more clearly. Price action was bearish. We pushed up into that level and started to consolidate. And then we got up out of there. That was a pair with the weekend analysis. I was saying if price action came up in there and started pushing to a level like this, then potentially, I don't know which pair it was, but yeah, then potentially continue to go bearish or go bullish. But right here, we come and we are starting to consolidate. We consolidated here. Now we're starting to consolidate here. So we could be expecting price action to open up bullish, but let me stop all this talking. Let's hit the play button. Let's see what happens. All right, so market open. All right, we haven't made it into the London session just yet. go ahead and identify the next agent session, because once we get past London, potentially we could skip past all the rest of Asia. And then I also want to do New York just to kind of point out some things. All right, so for the most part, coming into this week of July 21st, 2019, price action just opened in the Asian session and we pretty much just consolidating. I don't know if there's any news coming up. I don't know what's about to happen. All I know is I will potentially be looking for a potential situation where I can take buys, but price action ain't showing me nothing just yet. So right now we're consolidating. All right, so now we're into the pre-London session. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. The next candle will be the 3 o'clock London session. So potentially a chop based off of the Asian session, and potentially no trade taken. Now we're into that London session, pushing into that New York session. Now, what we see here is potentially, so for me, generally, if I don't catch something within the Asian session, and I know for a fact that something's about to pop off during New York, I will look for this setup to potentially take place. So we have pushed above this little resistance right here. We didn't close above, we wicked above. So based off of this information right here, what I want to do is definitely continue to watch the New York session, because like I said, I didn't take a trade during the Asian. I had an idea of where price action was going to go. I was looking for it to go bullish. I had a zone that I needed price action to close above. And then once it did, I was potentially going to get active to the top side. Now looking at this, if I felt like being risky, I would say, okay, well, we pushed into that resistance that I identified from the weekend analysis. And now I'm trying to, get busy going to the top side. So potentially now that we have pushed into that resistance, now I can start to potentially line up a trade as to far as to where I think price action is going to do its thing from. So looking at this right here, I would go ahead and line up the chart something like this and say, okay, once price action closes above or pushes above this high right over here, I want to enter into the trade and I want to try to take profits as price action pushing to that 4-hour resistance right over here. What we can see is price action did pull back into that structure most recently broken. Looking left, it did, go a little bit deeper than the actual zone, but for the most part, this is where price action took off from. At this point, we're trying to, take that off the charts because it's not really doing too much else for us. We can move this over because London session is now, deep into the New York, and we're gonna hit that play button. So if this next candle pushes above this high, we'll be into the buy stop scenario, and then we'll be going from there. So not entered yet. Price action pulls back on us. Not entered yet. So at this point, we didn't see price action close above. So definitely, what time is it now? It is 1 o'clock. I would definitely not be still looking for that setup. Price action did not close above that 15-minute resistance we was looking for. And using this strategy, this is another way to potentially save your capital, because you identify areas you see where price action you see where you want price action to do something from. If it gets to that point and it don't do what you was looking for to do, then you don't place a trade. You do not enter the market, because you kind of set your standards as far as what you want a price action to do, and it hasn't done it yet. So right now we taking no losses, we taking no wins. We've saved the capital to potentially enter that lot size that we really want. Excuse me, sorry about that. But at this point now, I would just be waiting for the next agent session. So we're just gonna push on through. All right. So we have arrived back to that new agent session, and seeing how price action really has not done much of anything for us. It's pretty much it'd be pretty tough to say, okay, now I'm looking for shorts and now I'm looking for buys, because we didn't close above 15-minute resistance, and we definitely haven't broken out of this hourly range. So right now it'd probably be just an agent session where we just come and look and just watch and see what price action is going to do. See, this would have been a high. 15. Oh, we cannot go down to the 15. Okay, that sucks. And then close this out. So that would have been there. We finally We say the Asian low is somewhere right up here. Not 100% on that as far as identifying as Asian rings. I need to go down to the 15 to identify that. But for now, still looking to see if price action closes above here. What I do see is price action was low, lower high, lower low, potentially lower high, lower low. We broke here to create this high that started to, you know what I'm saying, break internal structure right up in here. So if price action does not close below this little support area here, then potentially we could start to say, okay, well, let's see if we can set up some buys above this level right here. Where what I want to see price action close above to kind of confirm taking those buys will be down, we broke. So potentially I want to just see price action close above here. What area of interest? Right there. And then, you know, till we see some scalps. Let's see what happens. Hit that play button. We're going big bearish. Okay, we have closed below that hourly support. And we have pushed into the London session. So based off of this, no go still, no trades have been taken. We were looking for buys. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of this, and we can get rid of that. Why? Because we broke below hourly support. So now we have a new hourly range potentially getting ready to be created. This is the high that caused price action to push all the way down here and create this new low. We don't know if that this low is the final low, just because we haven't had a change of structure on the 15-minute time frame just yet. So potentially what we do is just drag this back because it's no longer relevant. And then we just watch and see what price action do. Once these type of scenarios right here happen, I'm not looking for a trade in a New York session. I'm just sitting back and watching, because everything that I've been pointing out, of everything that I've been looking for as far as what I expect the market to do, it has not happened yet. So potentially we have not taken any trades yet. So no losses, no wins. We still got the same capital. And now we potentially could be building up to put down a bigger lot than what we would have expected to at the beginning of the market, because now the market is opening up and kind of showing us some potential. But the other thing we talked about was we said we identify the charts with the weekly opens, because we look to see where swing highs and the swing lows of the weeks have been are being created. And right over here, I think I did say this level. We don't want to see price action close below, but this is that whole range that we would have for price action to pull back to give us that next one. But it'd be better if price action closed above this low to essentially give us that new weekly low, new weekly high. All right, so now, right now, we're just waiting. A bunch of nothing is going on right now. Go ahead and line up where that next Asian session would be. And now we're just sitting back and watching. So right now, no stress, no nothing. We're just potentially letting the market do its thing, because it's not showing us anything that we want to see as far as getting in and getting active. Potentially, we just checking the market probably about every hour or so, or every time we think about the market, simply because it's not showing us anything as far as what we can get in and how we want to get in. So we got the 4-hour support that's still intact, that has not been broken, that was created last week. And we got the new hourly resistance that has created and started pushing below structure within the market. So go ahead and hit that play button. All right, so the London session did come out and give us some type of bullish activity. Looked like we retested that Asian high from the previous day. Now let's see what happens. Oh, short out to the downside. Then New York session come up, we come into that 4-hour support. Finally has been retested, and now we're trying to see if it's going to break and go below, coming into the Asian session. All right, so now we are now at Tuesday's Asian session. Price action has come open, or has opened up and come bearishly. We were looking for bullish scenarios. Price action has not given us any real bullish scenarios. Only thing we've seen is price action go bearish. From here, I would want to kind of start to re-identify. It is Tuesday. We did see a break of structure right over here from the higher time frames. And right here, this kind of solidifies that hourly range to say that this was the high right up here. And then now the new low was created right up here. And that new low was broken. So right now we're creating bearish structure on the hourly time frame. We had higher low to the higher high. break a structure, pull back, break structure on a 15-minute with these candles right up here. And now we've broken through that new 1 hour support, or yeah, 1 hour support. And now the new hourly range is from here to here. Now, technically, if you've been trading for a while, you sit and you watching this and you say, okay, well, all this stuff you're pointing out is not really important. And that's kind of true, but what it also does is keep you from taking wrong trades in the wrong direction, keeps you from losing capital. So in order for me to take buys or be interested in any buys, I definitely need to see price action close above this new 1 hour resistance right up in here. And potentially they could be breakout buys. So now we increased the range from right over here where it was, I think, 20 pips to the top side. We're going to take buys if price action close above there. So 20 pips to that target. Now we pull back deeper within the market. So now we potentially have a 42 pip take profit up to the top side. All right. So now that we've got that new hourly range created right up here, we could identify the hourly support, but it's in the same exact spot of the 4 hourly support. So generally, I don't typically put that in when situations like that arise. But like I said, now I have a bigger area of confluence as far as potentially take profits if price action closes above, breakout buys. And now, it being Tuesday, going to the Asian session, I don't want to say that I want to be looking for shorts at this point. We could see price action manipulate this 4 hourly support here and then get back up out of there. So my area of confluence is to be ready to start taking buys. I want to see price action close above here, little area of interest, and then we'll go from there. So let's start hitting that play button. All right. So we have broken and closed below that 4 hour support. What we are looking for now is we were looking for buys initially. We have broken structure on the 4 hourly time frame. So now to see if we can take shorts back into demand, looking over here, we want to see a retest of this area, and then potentially we can take shorts from there. Update this. Let's see, where's that London session? All right, so we have already passed pre-London and we're into the London session. New York section is there. And we forgot to identify. Wait 1 second. All right, so at this point, we are into the London session. Still no trades taken. So yet again, we're sitting all the way into Wednesday with no trades taken. We're pushed into the London session. Price action is just not doing anything we want to do. So at this point, we haven't lost any money, but at the same time, we have not made any money. Price action is continually going bearish. We do have a new 1 hour resistance. We're pushing down, and it looks like that 1 hour range is continuing to just go down bearish. So at this point, a bunch of nothing. That area of confluence, we wanted to see price action break above. Only thing it did was give us a new 1 hour resistance right up in here. And now, as we can see, price action is stair stepping to the downside, lower lows and lower highs. Not giving us anything we wanted because we wanted buys. So for the most part, we're sitting back and waiting. We making money because we ain't losing none. So capital is still the same. I don't know if there's anything that could potentially outline that we could have took shorts, except for right up in here with this break and retest of this Asian high. What you gonna get? With the break and retest of this Asian high, but outside of that, it's pretty much no bueno for anything as far as taking any trade. So we'll push this and let it push into that New York session and see what it sets up for us, and then we try to identify anything that might look good as far as potentially getting into a trade. All right, boom. So now it is Wednesday, Wednesday night Asian session. We kind of want to go back and definitely re-identify, kind of clean up the chart a little bit, get rid of stuff that is not really important to us. This, 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 this. We got the 1 hour high to the 1 hour low. Potentially, this 4 hour support was broken. Right at an open her. So no longer relevant. Now we do have a new 4 hourly resistance way up here. This is 4 hour resistance that caused the break of structure right over here. So now we're still in that push phase until we see an hourly resistance be broken back to the top side. So we don't have the 4 hourly support just yet. And this is a little tricky right up here. Let's go to the 4 hour and see what we got. So we got to push, pull back, push, break a structure to the downside. Theoretically, the way that we trade, we want to say we would take a break and retest trade based off of this setup, push down, pull back, respect, and come back deeper within this range. But because it's still bullish, we want to see if price action does not close above this 1 hour resistance right here, then yeah, we definitely can take those shorts back into demand looking left. Definitely has not been retested just yet. As you see, price action was bearish and immediately just exploded. There was no retracement type action right here. Somewhat of a 4 hour imbalance right over there. So potentially this could be the confluence. We say, okay, well, price action this week just came out and opened up big bearish. And the only thing we could be waiting for to see it resume back bullish. The only thing we could have as a confluence to say we can go back bullish from there is price action come back into this demand slash imbalance area right down here. So line that up. H. All right, so for our low, high. Yeah, we can say new hourly low right down here. Get rid of this. And then we just gonna go from there. Right now, not looking for buys or sales. We're just waiting for the market to give us a setup to where we can execute on. This, I feel like this back test video wasn't as influential as the 4 hour GU because there hasn't been anything we can potentially execute on. On GU, we definitely saw several setups to where we can potentially get in the market and get active. Right now, price action is just going bearish. We were looking for buys, so our bearish confluences have not been lining up to take shorts for us just yet. We're now within Asian Wednesday's Asian session. So right now we want to see those price action pull back into this level right up in here to possibly give us some shorts, or does it just continue to go down and pull back into that little imbalance area down there looking left. All right, so we'll go ahead and adjust this. Thursdays and also the New York. And we're gonna rock it from here. Let's see what we get. Oh, break. It's leakage. Leakage, leakage, leakage. Nothing but leakage. So yeah, potentially this has been a week of no damn trading. And then you can also say on the back end, if you was looking for the shorts, then potentially price action has given you what you wanted to see. But for me, I don't see nothing that would have said, yo, take these shorts, because price action hasn't come back into any of my zones, any of my ranges to say, yeah, effectively take this short and you effectively about to be profitable. So we all the way into New York session of Thursday. Frustrating because we ain't got no trades, guys. No trades, which is not a bad thing, but as you sit and watch the charts, you like, shit, I'm trying to get paid. I want to make some money. I want to make some money. And you do have a new hourly range created. So if you're trading, if you're watching this, you don't have to keep re-identifying these ranges. But for me, it just helps me to see that much better within the market of where I should be looking to potentially get active from. And these hourly ranges are starting to get smaller, which somewhat kind of identifies that potentially we could see a reversal coming up here shortly, by it being the end of the week. I don't know that by the end of the week, I don't know that we're going to see that reversal just yet. And one other thing I've kind of forgot about, we broke this 4 hourly support. So now we do have the completion of that daily range from the low all the way up to the high. So one of the other confluences, kind of as we identified with the GU back testing, we could throw that fib on there and kind of see where we can expect price action to act up from. We have now pushed below that 50%, that golden zone. So not really necessarily a purpose to draw that in. And then the last thing we have is the last chance U, which is right up her, that says that if price action closes below this level, then potentially it's going to continue to go bearish. Mhm. All right, now we can get rid of this field. 50% play didn't give us much of nothing. All right, so we're in the New York session on Thursday. We haven't taken any trades, and let's see what we get. Oh, deep in that range, deep. Continue to break structure. So stair stepping still, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially new lower high, lower low. See what happens. And we just broke through that last chance U. So at this point for this week, I don't want to do any buys. I'm not continuing to look for any buys. Price action has not shown me anything that says we want to go bullish. New hourly ranges are being created to the downside every which way. So yeah, we don't got too much nothing. Hourly resistance. This level was just recently broken. We already kind of had a retest of that level. We have broken and closed below that last chance U. So potentially this is going to continue to go bearish. I definitely want to see what price action does right up in her to say, yeah. Now, as far as taking shorts from here, with it being going into the Asian session on Thursday, I'm very skeptical of taking trades on Thursday going into Friday because I know Friday usually is a consolidation day. But overall, yeah, we got a bunch of nothing. So Asian session, come down. We broke through support. Oh, we only liquidated it. Let's see. Oh, now we definitely. So yeah, that's what I said. Once we close below this last chance U, potentially price action is going to continue to go bearish. Um, I wouldn't have wanted to take these shorts because the ranges are now getting smaller and smaller. Price action could touch right into this 4 hourly imbalance and then get right back on up out of there to the top side. So yeah, definitely a week of no trades. A bunch of nothing. I've definitely been frustrated with this week's price action because I didn't get into anything. Yep, and then we also got that agent low right over her. We have not seen the retest of that agent low, so let's see if we can identify that within the market. So price action came, opened up during the agent session, pushed up, gave you the high, came down, gave you the low with the bullets closed, and we broke that low. The only other thing, well, it's a London session now, so I definitely wouldn't be looking for that. But eventually going into the New York session, if we don't touch into this imbalance and we pull back and retest this Asian low right here, potentially we could catch a sale back into that 4 hour imbalance. But with the way this big ass candle is forming right here, potentially we're about to push right into that 4 hour imbalance. Let me get one. Close. Get another one. Close bullish. And oh, still not there. Where's New York session at? We're in pre-New York. One more candle push you in New York. And there it is. So tap into that 4 hour imbalance. We do have, we pretty much just bring this down. We got the new 1 hour resistance. And then this is no longer in play. We've already broken through that, closed below significantly. All right, so now we deep into demand right over here. Potentially what I would have identified as demand based off this 1 hour chart. We closed above, we pulled back, and then now this is how I would line price up for potentially the next week to say, okay, this is where price action took off and gave you that big bullish run back to the top side. Right up in here, we were bearish. We came down. We sold off and then we pushed up bullish. We came back to retest, and then we got up out of there. Now the imbalance has been closed. We have tested into the imbalance, so we don't really need that as a confluence anymore. But the supply, this demand zone right down here is the last thing potentially that's going to potentially hold up price to say we can build a foundation off of this and then go back bullish. I would want to see price close above this 4 hour, this 1 hour resistance right here to potentially say yes, this demand zone held up. We closed above, we broke structure, and now we potentially take buys based off of that. But right now, it ain't there. One more second. All right, cool. So now we're waiting. I definitely wouldn't be looking for anything at this point. Um, just want to see what the market gonna do for me. And then we'd be pretty much going into uh the following week's weekly open. We missed all those selling opportunities. Potentially, if you was trading the New York session or the London session, potentially you could have caught some gas during one of those sessions. But because price action didn't really set up anything for me, yeah, I didn't really see anything or identify anything that could potentially say, let's get active. As we broke through this 4 hour support, we didn't get a deep enough retracement to set up some sales. But as we can see, price action continued to sell below this level right down into here. But now we're pushing into the New York session on Friday, last day of the week. And let's see what price action does for us. Oh, and we completely closed through everything right over there. So demand is no longer being held up at this point because we have broken structure on the daily time frame. We'll now go into the weekend analysis saying that, okay, well, price action was bullish. We have now closed below the daily supportive area. So now we're going to re-identify pretty much everything on the charts, and then we're going to get busy based off of that. Then potentially get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this. We will keep that 1 hour resistance because that can potentially be a trend reversal type activities right there. And until we close above a 4 hourly structure, uh, yeah, we didn't really close above anything that would identify 4 hourly structure coming down. The only thing potentially we had was right there. Yeah, only wick through there, didn't close above. So yeah, don't really have a 4 hourly area I would like to identify. Right up here, we was looking for the buy. Price action just sold off all week. Don't have a 4 hour area right up in here that we can identify. Going down to the 4 hour. Don't have an area right up in here that we can. Well, we did have something break there, but no, doesn't really stand out. Doesn't really look too promising. What we can do is get rid of this continuation, bearish continuation zone. We can leave it there for right now because price action hasn't really pulled away or broke above that area. This is just to be something that identifies what we were looking for once price action got into this area. So yeah, we'll leave it there and go back to that hourly, and then we will continue on. Let's see what we can get. See if we can line up anything. Bearish continuation is a setup that we look for in the market. Right now, we want to see price close above 69,558 to take buys. Otherwise, we're going to continue to take shorts. The only shortened scenario that we will have set up based off of experience here is a retest of this Asian low to potentially go back, continue to go bearish. So going into the next week, that week, we didn't take any trades. We didn't lose any trades. Nothing set up for us as far as we want to see. So now we will push through. This is that London session or the Asian session of the following week. We have created a double bottom on the hourly time frame. So we got the 1 hour resistance. Now we have created that 1 hour support. 1 hour support. And we created that 1 hour support because we closed above structure on the 15-minute with this candle right here. Make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see. All right, we closed above with this candle. So now we're looking for retracements. back into this level right up in here. And theoretically, if you want to save your capital, this right here is where price action gets tricky, because this could pull all the way back, retest here, and then continue to go bullish. But because of the structure coming down, this was all bear. So looking at this based off of structural levels and trend and everything else, we want to say pullback will give us the confluence to go bear. So we want to be real careful as price action pulls back into this level and make a decision based off of the way price action gets up to that level. So we hit play this support right here, standing on business and holding up. Okay, we just closed through that support. All right, so then we have created, let's see, for our time frame, we created a new hourly range. That support held up. So from here all the way down there, pulled back. So that's would have been it. The new hourly range would have been from this high to this low. So the hourly range is definitely really, really small at this point. We can identify it, but at this point, let me see. We are getting ready to push back into that Asian session. So you got an Asian over there. Drag all the way over. New London. Asian high. Right over here. The Asian high onies. And we got the Asian low right over here. And blend. All right, so the new 1 hour, go back. 1 hour looks something like this. And then you got the new high way down here. So now we got a tight range that we playing with. Coming into the Asian session right here, wouldn't be looking for anything. Just want to wait to see how price action breaks out of this range. If we break lower and continue to go to the downside, or we break higher and see if we can find some confluence to take the buys. Based off the bearish continuation zone, we see price action broke below that level. We came back above, and then we started respecting. So we could have potentially tried to line up some shorts, but this is a risky business because it's not really drastically pulling away. When we look for a continuation, bearish continuation zone trade, we want to see price drastically pull away from that zone and then retest and then take that short at this area right here. We haven't really got that just yet. It's real small candles, not a lot of volume, not a lot of momentum within the market. So that's why we did not hop to any shorts just yet. So we'll go ahead and hit that play button into that Asian session. And then the thought process slash psychology right here would be to wait for price action to break out this hourly range. So let's see what we get. A lot of chop. Yes, sir. Okay, give me a second. All right, so we all the way into the London session. The Asian session didn't do anything but continue to consolidate. We have broken out of that 1 hour range to the downside in the London session. So potentially it wouldn't be at the charts. So we could be looking for in the New York session is to see, do we get a retracement back into this 1 hourly support to give us a short to then take the market lower, or are we just going to continue to wait like we did last week? Not really losing any capital, not really making any capital, but at the same time, you want to build that confluence to say, okay, well, price action is showing me what it wants to do. This is where I know I can get in and get active at. And yeah, that's how I can make some money. But ultimately, right now, we got a bunch of nothing, a bunch of sitting and waiting. Where was that agent? Here, go back to, we need to identify that. Let's see, we say here. Page high. Page low. All right, cool. All right. So into the New York session, did not retrace. So we need to go ahead and re-identify. We got the new 1 hour resistance here. And then we broke structure on the 15th here. So getting kind of shaky. This would have been a new 1 hour support, and then we just immediately broke back through. So this is ugly. We could be looking for shorts, but it's not really giving us anything to base a trade off of as far as how we gonna get in. So, all right, back into the Asian session. Price action is going bearish. If we were to re-identify, essentially what we would have is the new hourly range from here, our resistance. And what we can identify now is how we were talking earlier about taking that continuation trade. We have seen price action pull away from that zone now. So potentially if we get price action pull back into this area and start to consolidate, start throwing wicks, start rejecting that area, then we can definitely say we can probably take some shorts to the downside. But outside of that, we still ain't got a bunch of nothing as far as getting into the market and definitely taking some trades. So let's see what happens. Asian session comes. We had some news pop off. We liquidated this 1 hour support right up in here, and we returned somewhat back bullish. We haven't broken this 1 hour resistance just yet, so ultimately we're still consolidating right up in here. And fast forward to that London. All right, so a bunch of nothing. And right there. So now it is Tuesday, Asian session. We still haven't taken any trades in almost damn near 2 weeks. We're definitely getting antsy within the market because we want to get in. We want to get in. During this Asian session right here, we do see price action pull back big bully. All right, so we got our new hourly support. We have closed above 1 hour resistance. So at this point, we can now say that we haven't, and we don't have a 4 hour resistance just yet. All right. So let's see what happened there. Because I don't have anywhere where price action broke the hourly back to the top side to create a 4 hour range. So right now we just playing between the daily and the 1 hour range, 1 hour ranges, but we have closed above 1 hour resistance. So ultimately, this potentially would, let's see how it plays out, and then we'll identify after that. So going into the London, we have price action pushing big bully. The consolidation area looking left, right up here with this buy to sell candle. Could be what we wanted to see price action tap into as far as taking shorts. We tapped into it with this current price action here. Now, the tricky part, like I was saying before, we have broken above 1 hour resistance. So price action could be ready to go back bullish. So taking these shorts right here would be real risky. We pushed into the buy to sell from the previous um, Asian sessions low retest, the breaking the retest of that Asian low. So if we get price action to break this low's candle with the next candle, then we're gonna hop into some shorts. First target would be right down here at this resistance right here. And then if it continues, then it continues. So we're gonna go ahead and outline that. So potentially we have a confluence within the market to where we can potentially take shorts. We're going to put stops right above 18 pips, right above this buy to sell candle right here. We bought up and immediately sold off. And then we're going to target these lows right over here. So if price action breaks the low of this candle that was created. Now, this is during the London session, so I probably wouldn't be up looking for this setup. But if you are at the charts and it is London session and you trade that unit, say, okay, well, this is what I've seen. This is what has taken place. This is the confluences I have. Then potentially I could take this up and let's see what happens. Bam, into the trade. Ooh, immediately return back. So right here, based off of this, with this candle breaking the high of this candle, this is probably going to continue to go bullish. Probably going to continue to go bullish. So at this point, you would have a choice to make to say, okay, well, I've seen this type of setup before. This was already broken the 1 hour resistance right up in here. We took the trade based off of price action coming back like a break and retest trade back into that Asian low. So I could trail stops, cut 50% loss right up in there, which is what I think I would do in real terms and in real market times. I would cut 50% loss at that point. If price action was to push back into there, so 8 pip, cut 50% of the trade and then let the rest run to those stops. And I'll leave the targets right where they are. Let's hit the play button. Let's see what we get. Before we do that, let's go ahead and identify here. Let's see, we got agent high. Low will be something like down there. All right, so let's hit that play button and see what happens. All right, boom. So going into the New York session, we did not get stopped out on the trail and started a 50% cut loss. So we still got the full stops inactive. We still have the full targets right down here. The new hourly range would be from this low. And because we broke structure right up here, the new hourly resistance is up here. Now we have to be careful because structure could be getting ready to turn around and go bullish. We have broken resistance right over here, and then we created a new resistance right up here. So definitely want to target right into this 1 hour support now. And let's see what happens. Going into the New York session, letting the trade run. We put a sale stop, went into some drawdown. And now going into the New York session, we are kicking in profits. Let's see what's going to happen in. We have already, instead of 50% loss, because of the time that has elapsed, this would be now our trailing stops. So we will lose less than what we plan to lose. So now we got an 8 pip stop right above the high. And then we're looking at a 22 pip take profit. And like I said, being a scalper, being in trades this long, it definitely always makes you a little bit nervous. So this would be something like we're holding on to this trade. We're swinging from session to session. There ain't no guarantees at this point because generally we like to be in and out of the markets. So pretty much holding this trade. Yeah, you have to see what we're gonna pop out. So now, market is showing you several times. Hey, we pushed up, we pulled, we came down, we entered into the trade, we pushed up, almost hit the trailing stops. We went down a little bit lower, and then we came back into drawdown. So now at this point, I think I'd be willing to put stops at break even because it's not continuing to go lower. I wanted to see it go lower, and it's just kind of for the most part consolidating, looking like it wants to roll back over bullish. So trailing stops will now be brought down to break even though we only up like 2 pips. I'd rather keep that same record of not losing and not winning anything. So we'll put stops at break even, and then we'll see what happens from there. Because I'd rather not lose based off a trade that I got in that's outside of my trading time, which is the Asian session, and end up taking that loss, especially after I see price action has somewhat rolled over bullish, and we have not continued to go lower within the market. So we hit that play button. Oh, and we would have been trailed out right there. Oh, damn. Oh man. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, we waited so long, 2 weeks, 2 funky ass weeks, 2 whole weeks. But that's how it is. That's what happens, man. Oh, I would have been mad. Oh, I would have been angry. Oh, I would have been angry. I would have been angry. Overall, the idea played out, breaking retest, coming back into that continuation zone bearish. Yes, I would have been angry and upset. We got trailed out at break even, and then price action just leaked to the downside during the New York session on Wednesday. Definitely news induced, as you can see. Look at the way price action normally moves. It's news induced. Look at all that damn volume within one candle of 1 hour. So, oh man, oh man, yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, so at this point, you had to pretty much pull yourself back together and say, okay, well, damn, we did all that waiting. We hopped into a trade. Potentially we could have held stops where they was because we hadn't taken a trade in almost 2 weeks. And then we finally found a confluence to where we can get in, and then we got trailed out. So, but we got that new hourly resistance going to create the new 1 hour support has not been created yet, but overall price action is just leaking. Let's see. That wouldn't be because we broke. So this would be the new 4 hour resistance. We got that 4 hour low. We have not broken. Now we would have a 4 hour range to kind of identify because hourly structure was broken here. We could say this would now be the new 4 hour. Let's go up to 4 hour. I want to say it's be right here. 4 hour resistance. And then you had the 4-hourly low because the 1 hour resistance was broken. And then we came back and leaked back to the downside. So this would have been that new 4-hour structure. And then we're continuing to go bearish. So that 4-hour support would have been there. Now, all this 4-hour stuff would have been marked up hindsight. We could have done it right here if we had stopped within the market and said, okay, well, 1 hour resistance is broken to the top. So we got 4-hour levels. We did a break and a retest type setup. And then we leaked to the downside. But yeah, let's go up to the 4-hour time frame, see how that looks. We're gonna blank everything. Yeah. Oh man, oh man, that is fudging ugly. Based off of the daily, this was the high. We came down. We would have been breaking 4-hour structure here. Well, no, we haven't broken 4-hour structure to the top side, so we still pushing. Still in the push phase based off of the daily range. The high to the low hasn't been created yet. And yeah, so that's what it is. We're gonna finish up this week. I think I'm gonna cut the video at that point. So moving on back to the 1 hour. We do have a new 4-hour range. So as this price action finishes handling this business, then we will have a new 4-hour resistance right up here where this 1 hour resistance is. And the trailing stops got us trailed out. And then one trade break even. Leave that right over there. And then we just gonna push forward. Going into the Asian session, price action is leaking off. So the only thing we potentially could be looking for is a continuation sale based off of price action breaking below this 4-hour zone right over here. So we're looking to see if price action comes back, get the formula with them keys, and then we see if we can take it down to the downside. Go ahead and hit that play button into the Asian session. All right, so now Asian session, price action has opened up, went bullish, and then came back and closed bearish. So we're waiting to see if price action comes back into the zone. We kind of already had a slight retracement, but it didn't actually touch into the zone. So it's difficult to say. We still want to see price action pull up here. If we start breaking, it's a bullish candle close here. So if we start breaking to the lows, the range is very short to the ultimate low here. So don't know that we would say we want to take a short based off of where price action is now, just because you don't have that much of an opportunity from here to that low is only 13 pips. We'd rather catch it from the top if price action does decide to pull back up into here. And then that gives us a bigger range to capitalize to the downside, 31 pips. So right now it's a waiting game. But we are looking for shorts. Let's see what happens. See, yeah, this was the retest here. Price action shorted off and broke the low. So now we ain't got nothing. Damn it, man. Back to the damn waiting. So we got an Asian high. All right. So then the only thing is to keep moving forward. Let's see, this is the hourly. We did not. Yeah, so if price action wasn't closed back above here, then we can mark that new 4-hourly range. But at this point, this range is no longer valid because we already broke out of it. We can pull that all the way back here. The support is only a confluence within the market to say if we get price action to pull back here, we can kind of take that short. On the lower time frames, we have retraced back to this level. We didn't touch into it, but the lower time frames, meaning the 30-minute, 15-minute, we retraced and then we pulled down. I can't go down to the lower time frames to kind of show you that, how the candles formed. But higher time frames, we have not gotten that deeper retracement back just yet. So it could be a possibility that price action will pull back here and then drop lower. And then ultimately what we do have is new 4-hour resistance, which is right up here. And now we're looking to see where we potentially could get active from. Based off of the hourly time frame, we do see an imbalance area right here. So price action could come up and push through this level to just touch into this imbalance area here. And then the market could go lower from there. So a lot of different confluences at this point. Right now, what we want to do is just let price action do its thing. We're into the Asian. We were looking for the shorts. We thought the range was too tight from where price action was to get down here. 13 pips is already taking place. Could have took a risky scalp there, but 13 pips, if price action would have started to consolidate here, you wouldn't have had a lot of room to start trailing stops and to start trying to get out of those trades. So yeah, let's go. Let's push forward. Man, oh man. All right, so into the London, pretty much didn't catch anything during the Asian session. Potentially could have had a 13 pip scalp, but wasn't really up to risking it for the most part. 4 hour range. We have the new hourly range would have been here. So the hourly range from this high to this low, which would have been 15 was broken here. So hourly range would have been here to here. Then it would have switched from here to here. Then it would have broke bullishly. So right now you're identifying bullishly on the hourly. This would be your resistance, or this would be your support. This would be your resistance. And it looks like we're going up to break above that new 1 hourly resistance. Once price action closes above here, then we can identify this as our true 4 hour bottom. And then the only thing we'll be looking for to see if does price action start to consolidate or throw wicks here and reject from here, or does it come all the way back up to here? Kind of like the same type of setup we had right up in here, the break and the retest, the buy to sell candle right up in here with our confluence. And we try to take the market shorter. We trailed stops and got whacked right up in here. We'll sort of try to build that same type of scenario slash psychology to say, okay, that's what we want to see. Price action doing what we want to do, and now we can get active. We have pushed into the London session, so potentially we would be off of the charts. Would not be necessarily saying we would be sitting at the charts at this time. We're pushing into Thursday's sessions. As far as in New York, we're already into the London. The New York is coming up. Let's hit that play button and see what we get. That 1 hour resistance look like it's standing on business. Okay. So then we did push into that previously 4 hour resistance that did get broken. We have broken above 1 hour resistance. So now we can identify this area right down here as our new 4 hour support. So then the range becomes based off of the 4 hourly from this low right down here, from this low all the way up to this high is the range we were playing in as far as trying to take short. So anywhere between this 4 hour resistance and this 4 hour support, we want to try and formulate sales because the previous price action was bearish. Now we have already gotten a retest. This is a higher time retest right here. So right here, we had the lower time frame retest that didn't actually push into the zone. Now we have time that has pulled away from that area and retest. So this will be the higher time frame retest that has now pushed into that zone and kind of starting to reject. So this 1 hour resistance, not really so much as confluence right now. We just want to see price action really close above. We haven't closed above just yet. We've only wicked above. So we potentially only taken a liquidity from above this level. Now we want to see price action close above. If we want to say price action is going to pull deeper within this 4 hour range to touch this imbalance, or we could be getting ready to take shorts. How we know we're going to take shorts from this zone, we want to see a bearish close from this zone. So if this next candle closes bearish, we'll wait for the candle after that, even though we are in the New York zone, to break that low, and then we'll target back into this 4 hour support. If the next candle closes bullish and or break this high, then we're waiting to execute from up here. So let's see what we get. Give me one. All right, so boom. Oh, close bullish. So now taking the shorts from this zone right here is kind of off the table. So we can pretty much get rid of this so that we don't confuse ourselves. We'll leave this, structure right over here. But we are starting to staircase down to the downside. We have closed above this 1 hour resistance. So that is no longer a need to be on the charts. So now the only thing we're doing is waiting to see if price action comes and shows us a potential setup during this current session, which is the New York session, to take a trade from this imbalance area right up here. Damn it. What the hell are you laughing at? I just can't win for losing.
Daddy,
We had.
Bring your car.
Hold on for a second, bro. I'm almost finished. Give me about 10 more minutes. I'll be ready. Okay, about 10 minutes. So this
10
one,
minutes.
10 minutes. Come on, let me finish this, bro, and then we can get to it. This actually held up. I wouldn't have expected it to held up, but as we can see, news induced again, just like right over here. And we also broke structure to the downside. So man, it's that's whack, because I definitely was waiting on this to pull back up here and we was gonna get active. But as you can see, the higher time frame break and retest type action held up, and then it actually shorted off from there. So this is Thursday going into Friday. At this point, I probably would be mentally exhausted because it's been 2 weeks. We took a trade finally and got trailed out, and then everything else we have tried to set up has definitely taken off before we could do what we wanted to do and do what we wanted to do. But continue to take this off. We can readjust. You know, we can pretty much leave all that. The imbalance probably gonna get filled at some point, but potentially we just move on as we have throughout the whole session. Now we want to see the break and retest the whole type setup. We're looking for this again beneath this level. So that's where we at with it. Let's go ahead and hit that play button and see what we get. Leakage. Now, because we got this leakage, if we do get that retest now, if we do get that retest back into this area now, we definitely can get ready to start potentially getting ready to take those shorts. Because we have broken structure here, we broke structure here. We do have a new 4-hourly high, which is right over here to start that range. And we do have a new imbalance created right over here. So then we would have potentially two confluences to say, okay, we can take shorts from here, or we can take shorts from here. Let's push that play button and see what we get to do. Coming into the Asian session, we didn't break the low right over here. So we're looking to see if the Asian session will pull us back into this area and set us up to get busy to the top side or to the downside. All right, so nothing yet, all the way into the London, and we just liquidated the low. We have that new hourly range would have been from here to there. We broke structure. So then that new 4-hourly range would have been created, would have been right up in here. That has been liquidated. So because of the way that this candle has closed, we would potentially expect this price action to continue to go back bullish. Let's see what day. This is Friday, London. So yeah, we wouldn't be trying to get in on nothing. Asian session. Oh man, this has been a tough back testing video. This is stressful. We ain't even in the market, and I'm over here stressing at Asian high. All right, so let's hit that play button. Oh man, it just leaked. So yeah, we're pretty much done for the week. Call it what it is, and it just continues to leak to the downside. The only thing I do see in hindsight is a double top right over here that could have helped us take a short, but I wouldn't have took it because it didn't pull back deep enough within the range. Uh, this will now turn into that new 4-hourly high. And, you know, you just keep going. So this one was a little bit productive, but not really because we didn't really get anything. We had one trade within a 2-week time frame, and then we're going to go ahead and advance all the way through the end of the week so we can kind of recap. Let's see, the week to open would have been there. Hit that play button all the way through. All right. So yeah, it would have been great to take more trades, but you know, just following the structure, following the trend, and um, yeah, we didn't we didn't get nothing. We had a lot of waiting. We had an opportunity here, got broke even. This one didn't pull back far enough and leaked off. Right over here, immediately just broke, didn't give us enough retracement. We did have a double top scenario right over here, but you know, during the London session, if you wasn't at the charts and looking for that, then you probably would have missed out on that. Trading this allows you to not only save money, but it keeps you from getting in the wrong damn trades. That whole time right up in here, we were looking for buys because price action didn't break none of our identifying markers to the upside. We didn't take any buys. Right down here, it did start to set up for us to start taking shorts because we closed below that bearish continuation zone. The only opportunity we really had was right up in here, but then we trailed stops because price action wasn't really showing us what we wanted to see to continue to take the market lower. Then it just leaked off during the news. Yeah, so it would definitely had been risky because we have not broken any 4-hour structures back to the top side. This hourly or this daily range is still continuing to push to the downside. So it's all one push phase for me, still continuing until we close above a 4-hour resistance. This video is quite long at this point. I would love to keep going until price action turned around and we can identify some bullish activity, but I think we're gonna end it up right there for all the people in the back. Yeah, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you for watching, for supporting the content. If you definitely have any questions, Any comments or concerns, definitely hit them comments. If not, then, you know, I'll see you on the next video. But that's all we got for that. For this one, I'm out of that thing. We're gonna roll up out. Peace.